Yasodhanandana Brajajanakanjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanakanjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Yasodhanandana Brajajanakanjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanakanjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanakanjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Tamini Prabhupadasya Sahijam Yapakasha Vitiracha Sharankara Sharagapati Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschachadeshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padham Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Shindo Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneswari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivāśari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 14, text 22 to 25, translation and purport by ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Is it on the board? In Hindi. The class is in English. English also is there? Oh, there you go. It's English now. You can put it in Hindi or Sanskrit. There's a lot of Sanskrit wallas here. śrī-bhagavān uvāca prakāśaṁ ca pravṛttiṁ ca moham eva ca pāṇḍava na dveṣṭi sampravṛttāni
na nivṛttāni kāṅkṣati, udāsīna-vat āsīno, guṇair na vicālyate, guṇā vartanta iti evam, yo dveṣṭi nengate, sama-duḥkha-sukhaḥ sama-loṣṭāśma-kāñcanaḥ, tulya-priyāpriyo tulya-nindātma-saṁstutiḥ, tulya-, mitrāri-pakṣayoḥ, sarvārambha-parityāgī, guṇa-atītaḥ uchate. Somebody else. One for the Matajis and one for the Prabhus. Go ahead. śrī-bhagavān uvāca prakāśaṁ ca pravṛttiṁ ca moham eva pāṇḍava na dveṣṭi sampravṛttāni na dveṣṭi kāṅkṣati udāsīno-vad udāsīna-vat evam yo batishta sama-duḥkha-sukhaḥ sama-loṣṭāśma-kāñcanaḥ tulya-priyāpriyo tulya-nindātma-saṁstutiḥ tulya-mitrāri-pakṣayoḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī guṇa-atītaḥ. Matajis. Okay, word for word meaning. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, prakāśaṁ, illumination, cha, and pravṛttiṁ, attachment, cha, and moham, illusion, uvāca, also, pāṇḍava, O son of Pandu, na dveṣṭi, does not hate, sampravṛttāni, although developed, na nivṛttāni, nor stopping development, kāṅkṣati, desires, udāsīna-vat, as if neutral, āsīno, situated, guṇair, by the qualities, yaha, one who, na, never, vicālyate, is agitated, guṇā, the qualities, vartanta, are acting, iti evam, knowing does, ya, one who, avatistati, remains, na, never, ingati, flickers, sama, equal dukkha in distress, sukha and happiness, sva-sthaḥ being situated in himself, sama equally, loṣṭā a lump of earth, asma stone, kāñcanaḥ gold, tulya equally disposed, priya to the dear, apriya to the undesirable, dhira steady, tulya equal, ninda in defamation, ātma-saṁstutiḥ and praise of himself, mano in honor, apamanayo and dishonor, tulya equal, tulya equal, mitra of friends, ari and enemies, pakṣayoḥ to the parties, sarva of all, arambha endeavors, parityāgī renouncer, guṇa-atītaḥ transcendental to the modes of nature, sa he uchyate is said to be. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities, such a person is to have transcended the modes of nature. Hare Krishna. Everybody please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion, when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities, such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Purport. Arjuna submitted 3 different questions, and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendentally situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. When a living entity stays in this material world, embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the 3 modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord, so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body, and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material modes in the body will act, but as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendentally situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. The next question concerns the dealings of a transcendentally situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body. But the transcendentally situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness, and he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him. Because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances, he does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendentally situated. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, this slokas from text 22 to 25 is the answer for the first 2 questions Arjuna inquired from the previous text. We go back to the previous text. It says, Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these 3 modes? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature? Which means that what are the symptoms of a person who is beyond the modes of nature, the 3 modes of nature, and how does he behave? So for the last 21 verses, the three modes of material nature were described. It says that one should know these three modes of material nature in order to attain liberation. Liberation means free from the cycle of repeated birth and death. If one is not having this knowledge of the three modes of material nature, it'll be very difficult to get out of this material world. This material world is comprised of this mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Prabhupada gave an example just like a rope. A rope has three strands intertwined with each other, and the conditioned soul is bound up. The conditioned soul is bound up by these three modes of material nature. There is a picture also of how the three modes of material nature controls the conditioned souls, like a puppeteer. A puppeteer has this, with his movement of the fingers, that's controlling the puppet, he's be able to make the puppet moves according to his own desire. So actually, he says that we are acting under the modes of material nature according to the qualities and activities that we perform. No one is free from the modes of material nature unless he is transcendentally situated, which means that the conditioned souls sometimes act in the mode of goodness, sometimes in the mode of passion, and sometimes in the mode of ignorance. But mostly, mode of passion and ignorance. Very few are in the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, still is not good enough. Because it still binds one in the material world. A person who's in the mode of goodness is proud. Because he thinks that he is good. But it's not good enough. He has knowledge. He has some qualities that is beyond the modes of passion and ignorance. So the question that Arjuna asks is, what are the symptoms of one who is transcendental? Who transcend the modes of material nature, because it's very rare to see a personality who is free from the modes of material nature. That means he is a liberated soul. How often we will meet a personality, such a personality, a pure devotee of the Lord. You don't see them in Delhi every day. You walk in the bazaar and see a transcendentally situated personality. You don't see them in everyday activities. So what are the symptoms? And now we are having this description here. It says here that when one desires neither attainment of pleasure nor escape from pain, he has transcended the modes of nature. Are we in that position? Pleasure for ourselves, are we free from that? He says that one who wished to have happiness materially with his family, friends, and loved ones, this is in the mode of passion. It's a mode of passion. Who wants to be free from material sufferings and pain? Everyone. But a person who is transcendentally situated, I was just reading actually he doesn't feel the pain or happiness which pertains to material things. Because the soul is beyond this. He will be happy though, a person who is transcendentally situated, he'll be happy if he is able to serve the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas. But for himself or for his family, if it's spiritually, then that is okay. But materially, for one's happiness, including for the husband or the wife or the children, that means he is not transcendentally situated. He's still under the modes of material nature. Who is free from the dualities of loss and gain? Who doesn't hanker for what he doesn't have and lament for what he lost? That we will read in the next text. The next text after this. Yes, the transcendental platform. So the first two questions are answered here. And we have to understand whether we are actually transgressing. That means we are going beyond the modes of material nature. First, what are the symptoms of transcendence? We have to understand. It says here, Krishna first indicates that such a person is free from envy and hankering. Oh yes, envy. Envy is very, very prominent. The whole world, everyone is envious of each other up to a certain degree. Even the materialists, they are envious of the devotees. And sometimes the devotees are envious upon another devotee. But this is in the conditioned state. Are the devotees envious of the materialist? Should not be. They should be satisfied. They should be content. They should be happy. Without being satisfied, there is no such thing as real happiness. But sometimes devotees are envious of another devotee due to being in conditioned state. That is there. And there is also hankering. It says here, no desire for repulsion from the manifestation of the modes. Illumination, attachment, delusion. This statement implies that as long as one is in the body, one has to act neutrally. How to act neutrally? To understand that he is not the body, that he is a spirit soul. One should engage in devotional service so that identification with the body will be forgotten. So as long as we are acting in a way that we are always wanting to please Lord Krishna and his devotees, then there is no such thing as envy and hankering. Of course, to hanker to serve Krishna better and better, that is good. There is hankering there. But there should not be any envy towards another devotee who is pleasing Krishna more and more. We should follow in their footsteps, how to please Krishna more and more. One does not need this body nor need to accept the dictations of the body. Oh, how to do that? Because we sometimes, or not sometimes, more often, we follow the dictations of the body, especially the mind. It says that one who is in the bodily platform means mental platform. And the function of the mind is to think, feel, thinking, feeling, and willing, accepting and rejecting. But if the mind is focused on to Lord Krishna, then there is no more of this pulling and pushing. There's no more of this. He's beyond this becoming envious or hanker. Equipose. One should be equipose. What do you mean by equipose? One should be level-headed, equally disposed, equipose. One should be detached, knowing that the modes alone are active. We are kind of like helpless in the conditioned state. We cannot make a proper decision. Most often, then we are put into trouble. So how does the soul become aloof? He neither desires to enjoy the body, nor desires to go out of the body. What does that mean? I heard one devotee says, "For me, I don't fulfill the dictations of the body." What does that mean? I don't fulfill the dictations of the body. That means one should not hanker for one's own pleasure. We should hanker for the pleasure of the Lord. So he neither desires to enjoy the body, nor desires to go out of the body. What does that mean? Nor desire to go out of the body. That means external, the extension of the body. That means the family again, friends, loved ones, family, friends, and loved ones. We can desire for them to be Krishna conscious, but desire for them to be happy materially, then one becomes more and more entangled. How about the behavior? The dealings of one transcendental to the modes. Steady in all circumstances. Praise and blame is equal. Honor and dishonor is equal. Happiness or distress is equal. Desirable or undesirable is equal. Seems to be very difficult, isn't it? Even says that earth, stone, or gold, he sees is in equally. How can you see the gold? How can you see the gold and the pebbles in the street as equal? No way. It's very difficult, isn't it? If you see a gold and a pebble, which one you will pick? I'm sure you will pick the gold. You will not say, "Oh, gold? No, it's okay. I don't think. I'll pick the pebble." No. See, because a person who is equal with everyone and everything, because he only accepts whatever is favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. If it is not favorable, even if you have so much wealth, which many, like nowadays, to be a lakpati is not much. You have to be a crorepati. So now many people also are many lakhs of rupees, But if they don't use it for Krishna consciousness, it's considered to be garbage. So you may have a lot of gold, or you may have a lot of wealth or opulence, but if you don't use it for the service of the Lord, then it's considered to be the element whereby you will become more and more entangled in this material world. Where is that temple in South? Is it in Tirupati? Where, they will cut their hair, or they will give their gold, just to show that they are detached or renounced. But how much more are they keeping? It says that Krishna sees what we are giving, but Krishna sees more what we are keeping. So we have to detach. Sees everyone and everything in equal vision. It's like when we go on parikrama, we've seen a lot of sadhus, and most of them actually they gave up their family. They only have one bag, suitcase, not even a suitcase, just one small bag, and all of their belongings are inside. Can we live like that? Maybe not. They gave up their family. They decided that they will live in Vrindavan, and they are determined to live also their body here. Of course, we're not like that. Whatever we have for Krishna, we use it for Krishna's service. Prabhupada says, whatever donation we have collected today, tomorrow we will spend for Krishna. Now, some of the Mayavadis, they will not touch money. They will ask the disciple, you accept. But then he will enjoy after, showing that they are detached. But that is not what it's being detached. That is not the same as seeing everything and everyone in equal vision. It says here, friend or enemy, it should be equal. It takes anyone who helps him in Krishna consciousness as dear friend and not hates so-called enemies. Prabhupada says, even if an enemy comes to your home, you should treat him in such a way that he will not think that he is your enemy. Because you treat him nicely. More, not in a friendly way, of course, but more in a, it says also that anyone who comes to your place is like Narayana is coming, visiting. So even if an enemy comes to your place, you should treat him in such a way that he will not think that he is your enemy, because you are equally disposed. He sees everyone on equal level. Social and political issues do not affect him. He does not take side, whether it's a BJP or Congress, or we don't care, because they're all the same. If they are Krishna conscious, then no problem. Like in America, they're having a election next year. But it's the same thing, blind leading the blind. We don't have to deal with that. It says here, he knows that he has nothing to do with material existence. He knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. We should be more focused on how we can increase our faith and love towards Lord Krishna. We don't have any anything to do with. Of course, we have to be very, very up to date in such a way that what is going on all over the world, we cannot close our eyes and ears. We have to see. We have to be also attentive of what's going on. We cannot be considered as being naive. That is in a mode of ignorance. We should be aware, but at the same time, we should not be concerned. It has nothing to do with being Krishna conscious. He does not attempt anything for his own sake, but he can attempt anything for Krishna. So the basic point in terms of symptoms and behavior is the same. A soul has become liberated by cultivating knowledge of the modes of nature and should be detached from matter and the pushing of the modes. So this, actually, it says, this is the most important chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We have to know where we are at. Just observe, be a good observer. If you see someone who is in a mode of ignorance and a mode of passion, don't copy them. Don't do what they're doing. Just read this chapter. It says, one will lead one into liberation, becoming free from the cycle of birth and death, and ultimately, when one engages in devotional service, then he goes back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Any question? Comment?
Krishna Maharaj. Again, the first paragraph, last sentence.
Okay.
He
What
does
does
not.
it say? Read it.
He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it.
Was that again?
Yes.
He does not.
Desire to enjoy the body,
Yeah, he does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendentally situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of nature. Just accept. Accept what's coming to us, but be Krishna conscious, understanding that this is my karma. So our move is to get free from karma, to stop karma. Some pain will come. This is part of having this material form. Bodily pains, anxiety, which doesn't have anything to do with Krishna. This is part of karma. So accept that, yes, I must have done something in the past that I am in this situation. But what are you going to do? Don't commit suicide. Some, they commit suicide. Not some, many. There is a school in California, and there is a small bridge, so they put a net so that the students, when they jump, they'll be caught by the net. Yeah? Nor does he desire to get out of it, to commit suicide. No. We're given this bad bargain. Prabhupada says, make the best out of the bad bargain. Someone is more handsome than you, you look very ugly. No, I'm not talking about you, but what are you going to do? Huh? Let me get a different body. I want to be handsome later. Oh, that person is very intelligent. I am so full of ignorance. Again, this envy and hankering. Yeah? You understand? Oh, that person is better than me. Oh, this life is useless. Let me give it up. You be a ghost. You don't want to be a ghost, right? No. Sometimes devotees, they commit suicide also. Yeah, many instances. Here in Vrindavan, Mayapur, there'll be ghosts. Yes, Damodar Prabhu? Is that correct? Even if you leave your body in Vrindavan and you commit suicide, you'll be a ghost. Don't think you'll go back to Godhead because you leave your body in Vrindavan. But if you take your life untimely, and you're not supposed to, whatever we have, use it for Krishna's service. Okay? Yes, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. I have two doubts. One is regarding being equal to everyone. If
Be equal to everyone.
Yeah. If someone treats us unfairly and we need to correct them, like
We need to
correct them.
correct
like,
them.
In the sense, like say, if they are on an equal level, complain to a higher authority that they've done this or something like that. Is that acceptable, or should we just think, oh, it's my karma coming to me? And
You want to give an example?
I can give a small example. Somebody at the workplace is, say, mean to us. Somebody at the workplace or in the temple is
At workplace or the temple?
Or in the temple is mean to us.
Is mean to me.
Yeah, and we feel that it's not acceptable. So in that case, complaining to a higher authority, is that okay, or would that mean, or are we supposed to just like let it go and just think that we should be calm and?
Well, if they are mean to us to help us to be corrected, and so you can think more of the way how you are being corrected. Will it help you to become Krishna conscious? Or he is correcting you out of false ego and is being repeated many times? If you cannot do anything about it, then to help that person, you may ask a higher authority to correct that person. But if that person actually is correcting you, is mean to you for your own benefit, that actually you will see that you will improve, he's a good friend. I believe there is a statement I've heard before. The person who's giving you the hardest time, he is your friend actually. You're just getting, in a sense, it could be also from your past that you have done something to that person and now you're receiving the return, the karma. Yeah? Or if it's really like a constructive, this is what you call constructive criticism. There is a destructive criticism. Usually criticism is destructive. No, but there is a constructive to lift you up. You should openly say, Prabhuji, thank you very much. But it takes a lot of humility to say that. Usually our ego will say, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm doing. Who are you to correct me? Yeah? That is very difficult. A very intelligent person can see that, oh, this is for my own good. Just like the guru may chastise the disciple many, many, many times. But that chastisement is the showing of love to the disciple. The parents can be mean to the child so that the child will not grow up like uncivilized, like some of the boys, kids here, who comes and makes so much nuisance. But what can I do? I was gonna tell him, hey, don't do that. Actually, we're gonna do something about them. Don't worry. They should not be running around. But then if someone who is not, let's say, the guardian or the parent, try to be mean to them, then the parent will become angry. But it's a duty of the parents to take care of these boys. We can be mean to them to help them, but then the parents will see it in a different way. So we're going to do something about them. And there's a lot of these boys. They're just roaming around the whole day here. We can whip them. But that's not good. It doesn't solve the problem. But I know something to do now. That gives me a little idea what to do to them. I'm not going to whip them. That's too mean, right? We're going to do something. Is that okay? And
Maharaj, about socio-political issues, not bothering about them. Certain socio-political issues can just make us feel very bad, say crimes against women, or certain socio-political issues can make us feel very bad, like crimes against women, or riots on religious grounds going on, where lots of people are killed. So in that situation, it's like if we don't bother about them, it's kind of, it may in a sense be weird, or it just is that when you hear about them, you feel bad as a devotee. Since you have a soft heart, even if it's not affecting you directly, you feel bad. So how do we make the balance that don't bother about socio-political issues and having a soft heart towards what is going on in the world?
Yeah, it's like Arjuna. Because he's a saintly personality. He's a Satriya, but he's a saintly personality. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to take sides. So we should not take sides. We should be neutral. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we don't care. It's two things. Yeah? It's like, let's say, there's a flood. There was a flood. Yamuna. Overflowing. So what did we do? We distributed prasadam. You give them prasad. So, yeah, we should not take sides in either social or political situation. Because if we can help them to become Krishna conscious in a certain way, we will try to do it. But we'll not say, oh, I'm with this party or I'm that party. That is material. We got nothing to do with them. Okay? We can give them prasad, we can distribute Bhagavad Gita. We can do pravachan if they want to listen. Because nowadays the political situation is very, very, it's not that Krishna or God is the center. Unlike the Vedic times, the kings, they are representatives of Krishna. Nowadays, who is a representative of Krishna? They allow meat eating, they allow intoxication, they allow prostitution, they allow gambling. So who are we going to side? A person who's lesser allowing than the other party who's allowing more? Both are wrong. If they can stop, especially India, they should stop slaughterhouses everywhere. Yeah, but only in some cities like Gujarat or Haryana, right? Or somewhere in Maharashtra. Well, why not all of India? We are one of the largest exporter of beef. How is that possible? This is the land of Dharma. So we have to educate people. We have to give them Krishna consciousness. That's the best thing. We have the highest social welfare activity. Yeah? Anything else? Okay, one last question.
Regarding Mataji's question, if I have find something wrong, I have to
If you
report
find something
something
wrong,
wrong, even in our devotee community level,
yeah,
if it is part of my service to correct, which is given by the authority,
what?
it is part of my service to correct them. To correct them.
You can only correct a person if you have a relationship with that person or you are an authority. Because that person, if you don't have relationship and you're not an authority, that person will become angry. Who are you? Again, false ego. I know what I'm doing. You don't tell me what to do. The parents can correct the child. A brother can correct the sister. The principal can correct the students. If I don't have a relationship with you, I'm just talking in the wind. And more likely, we will not be in good relationship. But a friend can slap both faces. Yes, Prabhu, you're right. Yeah? I can slap you? No, I will not do that. Okay? This is the difference. No one can correct anybody unless you have a relationship with that person. If you want to correct a person, you ask another person who has relationship with him or a little bit higher, like an authority. That is the best way how to do it. Okay? Sukriya. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.